Okay, recap for Monday 08/09/2025. Right, so let me just clean up the charts a little bit first. Alright, so today is a no news Monday. Normally I don't trade these, but I don't know why I traded it today. I can't lie. I was basically just bored, but it could have been traded, right? I do have things for a no news Monday. Not a no news Monday actually. Things for a Monday really, right? Sometimes no news, sometimes no news, but it's preferably to have at least an orange folder, right? At least, right? And then it's better to trade it. For today, there was really nothing, but price action did look good initially, right? So I remember at Asia when I made the weekly forecast, I said I'd want us to not touch this, right, when we're around here, and then just drop down for the rest of the day, right? So, and then maybe come back in London, right? And as you see, in London, we're so low, right? We kind of got up, but eventually make relative equal highs for us to later go for, right? As you can see at 6, we make the relative equal high with Asia, right? So that's why it's marked as buy side liquidity. And then after that, I wanted this to open somewhere here, trade up, and then dump and just have a small like range for Monday, right? Cool. But what ends up happening is we actually do take it pre-market at like 9:20, go down, and then go back up with like the volatility of 9:30. And then I'm just trying to look for shorts, but nothing was there at all, right? Nothing looked like we turtle swooping, especially the fact that this red line is the 4-hour order. No, this is the daily mean threshold, and the blue line here is the daily discount. I mean, daily premium wick, right? Or just basically the wick for Friday's range, right? So if there's a turtle swoop, price has to hit something to the tick here with them too, and it clearly didn't, right? And then it went higher. So that just kills this whole trade idea for now, but it allows me to have two possibilities where it does do it sometimes in the past. Like I have pictures and graph of like days basically like this where it just basically makes you chase it, right, when it's in the wrong direction, but you need a real good PD array up above, right? I do not have any PD array in this range that like I can see like perfect for price to go down unless it's the previous daily high, right? So I'm waiting in this whole run. I'm waiting and watching for us to go to previous daily high by around 10:10 for us to dump. If we hit that by 10:10, these lows were gonna get taken like 95%, right? 95%. But as you can see, by the time it's 10:10 where we're at, we kind of respecting this SIBI, but we went and closed all of it, right? So it went down, and then 10:11, I remember I took a short at this order block, right? In case that might be the high. As you can see, this dotted line, I went on the hourly, right? And what's the hourly? I went on the hourly, bro. Am I lost? Yeah. And then basically just marked out the rejection block. And that's stupid because I know a rejection block from the 1 hour chart right there. Yes, sure, it'll take us down, but it's not gonna take us down there, right? We need an actual higher time frame PDA to work it. So as you can see, it did take us down to these sell side liquidity, right? And one thing about that model I'm talking about at like 10:10, it needs to already do this before and then end up rushing to like the previous daily high or whatever PDA rate there is, right? So cool. I take the short it goes all the way down. I remember watching this gap because this is the first gap after all this. I don't like the dump. It just looks fake, right? And then I'm just waiting to watch this gap, and I'm thinking we close above this. I really should kill the trade or at least put the stop loss here. So I do put the stop loss here, and then I'm just tinkering. I'm like, nah, and eventually it's just like a small win break even type of trading. Like one candle got me right, and I was just like, yeah, I knew I'm most likely gonna get stopped out, but it's cool, you know. So that's fine to like risk it, I guess. But like, it made sense. But like I should have been like, more aggressive with the stop loss, right? And I should have just kept it there. So it's cool that I stopped it. But now this shit tested my patience, bro. It went up and down. Like previous daily high. It's right there. Come on, take it. Blah blah blah. When it went, did this and did this sweep. Or I think even here, and there was SMT. I remember I took this as well. I took the short. It went into my direction and again stopped out, but this time with a small loss because I don't know. I just kept moving the stop loss for some reason, even though I know it was unfavorable. And now I'm waiting. I'm like, okay, relatively, and then same thing, right? And I'm just like, bruh, this is taking way too long. And all I have to do technically, as you can see, I have a notification. Like all I had to do is just get off the charts, wait for that noti to hit, which means we're gonna go for previous daily high. If that noti doesn't hit, I don't have a trade. And like eventually at this point, I noticed that the only thing that is lacking, right? Like I basically perfected my model and perfected everything else. And I know what days to not trade. I know I should not really be trading this day, but I was like, why not? And it's okay to look at it, but I should also know when to like just let it go, right? By the time that would be like this dump didn't actually like do it, I should just like, okay, it's not worth it, or come back like at a later session and just have a look if we went for previous daily high, right? Or major PDA. But once we started doing this, and then I just left the chart, right? There was no point to trade anything. As you can see, we had an inside range day, right? Which unfortunate, right? The only reason that I was aiming for the previous daily high because we're more likely to get a previous daily high or low on our distribution, but today we had no distribution really. It's just meandering around. So the fact that we didn't take this low, most probable high or objective for the day is this high, right? And I would take that as a manipulation and take the distribution now, right? I'm not saying there's no trade for the day, right? There definitely was, but there were very low probability, right? If you didn't catch the longs to these highs, right? So somewhere like here, and that's a London trade, right? Or let's say down here, I'm guessing that had to have an SMT if that was high probability. So at 8, it did have an SMT, but then another, yeah, it did have an SMT, so that would make sense. So that your only trade was pre-market really to catch the manipulation leg that really never manipulated fully, or should have manipulated, stopped here to distribute to the actual lows. Alright, anyway, cool. Let's recap for the day. It would just basically be a day, right? Which means tomorrow is the day to be trading. Even though it's a no news Tuesday as well. I think all my days. It's a no news Tuesday, but we're gonna have to get some of this liquidity that we create. As you can see, we have buy side and we have sell side, right? Whatever one takes is taken first. Also, actually, let me check. I did say if we close above, these two were bullish. So sadly, I'm not expecting shorts for this week, so we're gonna have to aim for the bullish narrative, which means I'm gonna wait for us to go down first, somewhere around here, for us to go and take the double previous daily highs, right? Hopefully it's a normal, I mean, it's a Tuesday with no news, but it should move normally. I hope so, right? And yeah, that's really about it. I think for the market recap, it's just basic. That's why you should avoid no news Monday. And for me, my only lesson really is, okay, if I can't really see my model, or if I'm very indecisive, just don't trade, right? If you know you shouldn't really trade the day, okay, have a look at it, but don't trade, don't push it. I mean, one trade, right? If I stopped at break even here rather than taking the extra loss, it would have been all right, right? I pushed it, checked my luck, not really there. It wasn't really my model. I would not use a 1 hour PDA rate to like frame a full swing for the day. So yeah, basically just wait. And I'm guessing if I can't find an entry by 10:50, or like let's just say 11, if I can't find an entry by 11, just get off the charts and come on final hour macro, right? Come on final hour macro, and that's it. Anyway, that's the market recap. Peace.